This is like some sort of futuristic metal funk music. Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. I am Molly, and in this video I am going to be listening to the album Take a Look in the Mirror from the band Korn. Now this is Korn's 6th studio album. They released this one in 2003, and so far I have heard Korn's first 5 studio albums, and I have honestly really enjoyed all of them. They've all kind of embraced a different sound to them. Some are a little bit more futuristic with some electronic elements, others just go hard with that raw nu metal aggression that I love from Korn. So I'm very intrigued to hear Take a Look in the Mirror. From what you all have been telling me, this one just goes really heavy. There's kind of a dark edge to this one, which I'm really excited to hear. So yeah, without further ado, let's dive right on into my reaction to Take a Look in the Mirror. All right, starting things off with track 1, we have Right Now. Right off the bat, I'm picking up on that heaviness you all were telling me about. His vocals have a really blistering quality to him. Like, he's not going all out and screaming, but there's a heaviness to him that's just really intense sounding. Okay, this part's a little bit different. There's like some really distorted electronic warp sounds going on. Track 1, Right Now, definitely a really dense, heavy sounding song. They were using some restraint though, like there was definitely some moments on that track where it got really quiet and withheld. There was that bridge toward the end there where all of a sudden it just went from intensity to kind of this like atmospheric, really quiet section of the song. I liked how they did that. They played up that dynamic a lot. But moving on to track 2, we have Break Some Off. Based on that intro, I wasn't expecting this sound from the vocals. This is like some sort of futuristic metal funk music. It's got this awesome atmospheric, kind of electronic-y sound, kind of futuristic sounding. And then they introduce this heaviness, like this awesome dense quality to the sound. It's almost like a dog barking. That was track 2, Break Some Off. Kind of a short little one, just over 2 minutes long. That one just brought the dynamics though, that's for sure. It kind of reminded me of some of the more like futuristic streamlined elements of Untouchables and even Issues a little bit, but they're kind of fusing on just a little bit of that really like dirty, raw aggression that their first album, their debut album, had. And that track, Break Some Off, was a great example of that fusion. They're just kind of going crazy with the vocal dynamics too. At times his voice was really brutal and harsh, and then at other times it was really light and kind of melodic sounding. Alright, moving on to track 3 now, we have Counting on Me. This one's definitely got a lighter sound to it, at least so far. Yeah, never mind. The chorus is definitely bringing more of that heaviness. You suck the life out of me. That's kind of how this song sounds. It sounded really light, and then it's just getting like darker and heavier. You're the one who's always screaming at me. You do this to me. I really like when this chorus comes in. It's really dense sounding, but it's also really smooth too. I love this guitar. The guitar's got this great like streamlined sound, and then the bass is bringing this funky kind of freeform quality almost. Track 3, Counting on Me. That one was just fantastic. I loved that one from start to finish. I really enjoyed how it was so restrained and a lot lighter sounding at the start. And then as that track progressed, you got like the pre-chorus that brought a little bit of heaviness. And then when the main chorus came in, it was just like this crushing sound, which is really cool. I like both sides of those sounds to Korn's music, and I'm liking that this album seems to be kind of mixing it all together in a really fantastic package. Moving on now to track 4, we have Here It Comes Again. Kind of some strange sounds at the start of that one. It almost sounded like a sitar a little bit. Yeah, this track is definitely doing like what that last one did with these lighter verses, and then it's bringing the heavy intensity on the chorus. All right, it's building up. That was track 4, Here It Comes Again. Those guitars were really shining on that one. There's just a really great, clean, streamlined sound. That's the best way I can describe it. Like, it's still bringing this heaviness, but it's different than the heaviness on their debut album, which kind of was more quirky, you could say, in a weird way. And yeah, that one again was fusing kind of the lighter vocals on the verses, and then they kind of brought that more blistering heaviness to the choruses. All right, moving on to track 5, we have Deep Inside. That bass right at the start was awesome. Absolutely great tone to it. Right, again, we have kind of a little really subdued, borderline atmospheric part to this song. I love their transitions from one sound to the other when they transition from like the quiet to the intense. That was track 5, Deep Inside. Again, just a really blistering sound to that one. How they take it from the heavy to the light and back again is very seamless. On previous Korn albums, sometimes they make those transitions a little bit more abrupt and jarring. It's more intense and they kind of throw it right at you. And on this album, they're keeping it more smooth and flowing, like from one part of the song into the next. It's kind of impressive how they're doing that. I'm really enjoying it. Up next, we have track 6 called Did My Time. I love those cymbals when they throw those on with the guitars. The instrumentals are great on this track so far. There's just a great rhythmic quality to them, almost like a bounciness kind of. This song is fantastic. It's like this really intense, blistering sound, but it's like it's in outer space or something. It's got this amazing atmospheric quality to it as well. That was track 6, Did My Time. I just loved the atmospheric elements to that one. It had this great echoey quality to it, like this kind of reverberating sound, like they were playing in a big hall or stadium or something, or even like they were in outer space. It just had that quality to its sound, but yet it was so heavy too, especially on those choruses. That was my favorite part. All right, and up next we have track 7 called Everything I've Known. Okay, they're using... Okay, this one's got some interesting vocal stuff going on. I was gonna say they were using some distortions there for a bit, and then they changed all of a sudden again. But we stick by each other's side. I love the percussive elements at certain points. Like this part is so minimalistic here, but that percussion just adds so much, that little cymbal that they're using. Track 7, Everything I've Known. That one did a great job of fusing kind of a more almost upbeat, really streamlined sound with, again, that blistering intensity. I loved too the vocals on that one. They were just really fun. They were playing around with some vocal distortion, and there was a lot of like twists and turns that song took that made it very entertaining to listen to, but yet again they kept those transitions really smooth throughout the whole song. But I'm going to move on to track 8 now, Play Me. This one is featuring Nas. I don't know who that is, so yeah, I'm very curious to check this one out. That bass, yet again, I love it. Everybody's an enemy, telling me lies and it's killing me. Why they all want to get rid of me? This is to all of y'all, cause everybody's an enemy. Trust nobody. This is very interesting to listen to. The instrumentals are very much Korn, you can tell, but then the vocals are just so different. Okay, I was wondering if Jonathan Davis was gonna pop in here at some point. You think that you can take me? You think that you can play me? You just raise me! You got that right. I know that you just raise me. Trust nobody. I don't know who to call a friend. Okay, that transition was actually done really, really well. From Jonathan Davis's vocals now back to Nas. Listen to all of y'all, cause everybody's an enemy. That was track 8, Play Me featuring Nas. That was a great example of how Korn's music really is very rhythmic. It has kind of a hip-hop quality to it. Nas's vocals definitely threw me a little bit. I'm just so used to hearing Korn's instrumentation with Jonathan Davis's voice, and I'm glad that later on Jonathan Davis had like a part in that song. If it had been entirely Nas from start to finish, I don't know if I would have liked it as much. And overall, I think they did a good job kind of blending their two vocals together on that one. All right, up next is track 9 called Alive. It's thrown in my face every day. Guess that's the price I have to pay. These vocals are so dark and demented sounding. They're so deep. I am alive. What's inside my mind? And then that echoey atmospheric sound is back on this one too. I buy my time. I'm in a climb. That was track 9, Alive. They fused everything on that one. Like, you had kind of this atmospheric quality to it, and his vocals had this great soaring, open sound to them, but then such intense heaviness too. And again, with the vocals, that one line that he would sing from time to time was, I don't think I've ever heard Jonathan Davis's voice that low and deep before. Up next, we have track 10 called Let's Do This Now. All right, we've got the bagpipes. They really love doing that on this album. Kind of a more restrained introduction to the song, and then boom, the instrumentals just come right at you. I love when Jonathan Davis brings the aggression to his voice. It's just got this awesome, raw, really brutal sound to it. It pairs so well with the instrumentals too. Track 10, Let's Do This Now. There was a great speediness to that one. It kind of it started with those bagpipes, like that really restrained part, and then those instrumentals came in, and it just kind of took off from there, and it just got going and never stopped. And I loved his vocals on that one. Again, he's bringing some intensity to his voice that I just really, really enjoy. It's just a great sound. Alrighty, up next is track 11 called I'm Done. That percussion at the start had such a great echoey quality to it. And then we've got that cymbal again that they're using. That one little instrumentation that they're using, it's just making the verses on this song sound really light and airy. Well, that was track 11, I'm Done. Again, such a dense sounding song, and the instrumentation on that track too was really layered. There was a lot going on. I was picking up on the percussion. I loved how they were using those cymbals, and it kind of added like a certain lightness, like an airiness to the sound of that one. They were doing a lot of electronic sound effects stuff too, like really, really subtly in the background. And then the bass would come in and kind of bring like a funky edge to that track. It kind of pulled it down a little bit. It brought more of that rawness to its sound. Moving on, we have track 12 called Y'all Want a Single.
Y'all want a single, say fuck that. Fuck that, fuck that. Y'all want a single, say fuck that. Boom, boom, boom.
Well, this one is certainly off to a fun start.
They think we're all the same, and you make me say, y'all want to say fuck that, fuck that, fuck that, fuck that.
This one has a great rhythmic quality to it. Just a really awesome grooviness, and I love that the bass stands out a lot on this one too.
What's going on today? We are the ones breaking you down.
Alright, they're changing it a little bit here at the end. Like that bounciness is gone, and now it's just more open and expansive with its sound.
Fuck that shit. Y'all want to see us say fuck that, fuck that, fuck that, fuck that, fuck that.
Well, that was track 12, Y'all Want a Single. That was a really fun one. I would say from a lyrical point of view, a bit repetitive, kind of the same line repeating over and over. From an instrumental point of view, though, that one was pretty awesome. I loved that the bass really shone on that one. It kind of took a center stage on that track. And just a great kind of bouncy back and forthness, but then toward the end, they changed it up. It became very like echoey and kind of atmospheric with its sound. But moving on now to track 13, we have the last song on Take a Look in the Mirror, which is When Will This End? again, we have that awesome bass really being emphasized.
Something inside of me has been taken away. When will this end? I can seem to get away. Hopeless inside.
See that transition they just did from the more intense chorus, and now they just brought it right into this really restrained verse? Like, it's so clean how they do that.
I keep feeling like I'm to blame. Can't seem to get away from you. You're always trying.
Those blasts of sound that come in from time to time. Is that a guitar that they're using to make that? That was track 13, When Will This End? The weightiness of that one was so intense. I loved it, especially toward the end there. His vocals just got so dense sounding. They just did such a fantastic job across that whole album of fusing the lightness with the heaviness, and that track was no exception. Just a great way to end that album on such a blistering note. Alright, so that is going to do it for my reaction to Take a Look in the Mirror, the 6th studio album from the band Korn. I thought this album was fantastic from start to finish. It had a great, heavy, dense quality to it, but it still retained that awesome, streamlined, smooth quality that Korn has kind of gradually embraced across the course of their albums. Right now, I'll be honest, it's really hard to pick a favorite track. Some of the standouts for me, though, I really liked Counting on Me. Also, track 7, Everything I've Known, was awesome. I think my favorite right now, though, might be track 6, Did My Time. Like I said, it's really hard to pick a favorite, but that one was just awesome. I loved it from start to finish. But this whole album was just a blast to listen to, just kind of a blend of everything that they've done so well on their previous 5 albums. And now I'm looking forward to See You on the Other Side, their 7th album. That one's going to be really, really interesting to listen to. But yeah, as usual, thank you all so much for watching. Stay tuned, and I will see you in the next video.